Hi Scorpio, and welcome to your June snapshot reading. This is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Midheaven, and or Venus, but this is also just for the person that is meant to click on this video and hear the messages that are being channeled through today, okay? And so at the very least, I just hope that whoever clicks on this video hears all that they need at this time. And if you do enjoy the experience, right, you take something from this and you want to hear more from me, then definitely do subscribe to the channel before you leave. So I already shuffled the cards for you guys, and I pulled an overlying energy card and then a clarifying card from the Fountain Tarot deck. So using the Mythic Tarot deck, the deck that I first used when I started reading, what came out for you guys was the Lover's energy. So this is Gemini by association. A Gemini might be coming in. You might be looking into that placement within yourself, or just at the very least, love is what you're trying to call into your experience next. However, I do feel like there is a little bit of fear surrounding it because what was clarified was the Knight of Cups. This is shying away from love because you see how he's like grayed out, kind of fading into the background type of thing, like not really wanting to be seen. Very sensitive energy. This is still immature energy as far as court cards is concerned here. We are only at the Knight. So this is somebody that is young in spirit. If this is a Gemini, this can be somebody that is young in spirit coming in, right? But very romantic, the type to write you poems, but doesn't really understand love for the truth of what it is, okay? And maybe that's where the Gemini placement within yourself can help balance out that relationship, okay? To where it's not just them falling in love with the idea of love or the idea of who you are, but truly the essence of who you are. You're wanting something that is not going to be shallow, right? That just does not sit on the surface. You can't handle any more of those relationships. And I feel like for those of you that have been shying away from relationships, that is the reason why, because it has been nothing but surface level. It hasn't done anything but left you feeling hopeless or helpless, you know, a damsel in distress. I do feel like for some of you guys, love makes you weak. And I don't mean weak in a negative sense, however you can perceive the word negative to be, or negativity as far as emotions concerned, right? But it's like your kryptonite, you know? You are a very different person when you allow somebody into that intimate space, right? You are not accustomed to wearing your heart on your sleeve. Maybe for some of you, that's been what has been blocking you. And so June is going to call for you to wear your heart on your sleeve a little bit more, be a little bit more open and a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more vulnerable, okay? Listen here with this air energy, this Gemini energy, when it comes to love and really what resonates with you on a spiritual level, that you guys share the same values. I feel like you have an opportunity to be the pick of the litter, you know, and you get to choose from the creme of the crop. But you need to be very smart when it comes to choosing the partner, right? You can't just go into it blindly here with these energies that are coming through, right? Do you want this next partner? Not to say that the last partner that you had or any relationship that you've had, it hasn't been fulfilling and it hasn't been something that has helped you grow, right? I feel like every partner that you experience is an essential or integral part to your evolutionary process, right? To you becoming a better, I guess, romantic partner in return at the very least, because we all have things that we can work on. I'm not saying that those prior people haven't been that, but you're really going to have to look and see, like, do you want the partner that is all about the looks, right? Are you in it for vain reasons? Again, the ideas of love and going after the lust that comes with love, but understanding, rightfully so, that if you choose that type of person, that type of experience, it will fizzle out and either you or they will walk away. So you have to go into certain relationships with that expectation, having that discernment now, okay? Are you going into the relationship with somebody that is a strategist, okay? Somebody that is cunning right? That kind of knows how to be very persuasive in love, but is a builder, okay? Is very professional, is well respected, is very brilliant, intelligent, right? This is more of an air sign person here with, I believe that's Athena being depicted. It's been a while since I've used these cards, but somebody that, I don't want to say rough around the edges, but rough around the edges. You know what I'm saying? It's not somebody that you can get the best of. You can't control that type of person. They are very independent, but know how to be interdependent without being codependent, right? Or are you choosing somebody that can give you the world here? You know, are you choosing somebody that can really be an integral part to your business taking off? You know, being that type of partner for you that gives you the world in the sense of being able to create life and give life, right? Having a bunch of kids type shit. Or will be that stay-at-home father, you know, that can be more hands-on in that way so that you can take on the world and those tasks, right? This one is more so like your equal, Athena, who is going to be like a 2-income household, choosing this type of person here, right? They work, you work, and if you guys have kids, you guys are financially well off enough to where you can afford to have like a babysitter from time to time when your schedules don't permit for you to be able to pick up or drop off or spend time with, you know, while you get things done. Okay, this is really like the right hand man. So it's that, or it's this, or it's this, you know, and you have the power to choose this month. I feel like you are the apple of somebody's eye with these two cards for sure, because the Knight of Cups, especially in this deck, is somebody coming in with a message, okay, and a romantic one in that sense, to let you know that you are admired, or maybe this is you to somebody else this month. You admire somebody that can be younger in age, again, if not an air sign, but there's great potential here. And it doesn't matter which path you choose, because as I was saying, I do believe I was saying that in Leo's reading, and check it out if you have interest, but there is no such thing as good and bad, right? Good and bad have nothing to do with the journey itself. Those are just labels that we use to try to, I guess, compartmentalize how we're feeling about certain experiences and what we personally want to allow and see more of. But I mean, there is no good and bad. Either you have enough discernment, again, to take a different approach to love or in matters of the heart and in the way that you express your feelings, right? And not denying yourself of feelings and not denying yourself of the fact that you may want love. I feel like some people like to put on that persona and have that armor here, very literally, like you see here, that armor, and be like the tough guy or the tough girl who doesn't need to depend on anybody, can get it on their own. You know what I'm saying? Love is for birds, marriage is for birds. You know, will very quickly make those types of comments out in public, you know, just to have that, what is that called? Just to seem agreeable in the eyes of peers, right? Because of societal pressures. Air energy can also talk about that, you know, societal pressures and just pressure in general that you may put on yourself. But on a very personal level, when you're by yourself, you understand that you are lonely and you actually really do need to have some type of companion, right? That is what makes life more meaningful. It's okay to want love. And it's okay to have love and also be successful in the endeavors that you desire to pursue, like the things that you want to accomplish, right? It's okay to be a working mom and to have a working, functioning business and to also have a healthy marriage. You can have it all. You may have to sacrifice on some events, but that shouldn't make you feel guilty here, which is also what water energy can speak of. Having guilt over love or guilt over choosing one thing over another. It's not having to choose, but things will have to be sacrificed simply because there aren't enough hours in the day, and there are some things that have a certain time constraint. Like If, for instance, you do have a kid with this night energy that is involved in like sports or worldly things and events, and you happen to not be able to make it, I mean, if they're running track, of course that event's not going to run any later than like 7-8 p.m., right? Not including travel to and fro if they are in indoor or outdoor track, just as an example. But I mean, if you don't get off until 4 and you're stuck in traffic and you can't get there in time, like there are things that happen. You can't feel guilty, right? That you can't make every single moment. And the absence of one isn't really detrimental. But if you feel like you just don't have a handle on your life, then that's something else that has to be looked into, right? Because you don't know how to properly manage your time. But we're not going to get too deep into that because that's not what the cards are saying. I'm just saying you can't feel guilty when it comes to going after the things that you desire on a soul level here. All right? It's not all about, for the fellas, it's not all about having the most beautiful woman. You don't need to have a trophy wife. Trophy wives don't typically come with much, right? Their resume is pretty barren, other than the fact that they might do some sponsorships, right? They might get paid to be models and advertise certain brands, sure. And money can come in that way, sure. I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, but I mean, the trophy wife isn't going to really be able to have those mentally stimulating conversations, as patterns and trends have shown. The ones that are just so vain and so into their appearance, they don't take time to cultivate other things in their lives, right? You don't need the best looking woman, you need the right woman. And I feel like that is, again, what you're coming to decide this month, or coming to accept this month, right? I don't want to say polyamory is on the table, but I've been seeing a lot of that in the media. And so if you're into polyamorous relationships, can't knock it. I'm not personally involved, and I don't foresee myself being involved. I will never say never, but the phase that I've been in for a while now, I don't foresee it happening in the next 6 to 8 months or the next year or 5. But I mean, you know, again, if you are in polyamorous relationships, that is where the love, like what is love in that type of dynamic? Okay, and you have to make sure that when you are deciding to embark on that type of path, right, if you don't want to have to choose, you kind of want all of them because each possess a different attribute. You don't feel like one woman is all women. Okay, that's your own personal perspective. But you have to ensure that there is a level of honesty there, right? Again, openness there and understanding there when you are sharing what your ideals are or what your hopes are or how you feel about the situation. And in what is it called? I don't want to say recruiting because that just sounds bad, but there is like a certain like interview vetting process that goes into it. You have to make sure that these people are actually in it for the polyamorous relationship and what it can do as far as you building that sense of community with one another, and everybody feeling like they get as much of you as the next person, if that's what they need, you know, because there are some people that are really truly independent and don't require a lot of time, don't require a lot of quality time with their partners, and so it's more beneficial. But for those that are, I don't want to say clingy, but for those that do need more of that and need to date more, really make sure that this is something that they too can handle, that you're not just doing it for your own pleasure here, because somebody in the end can wind up feeling like left out here with this Knight of Cups energy, okay? Can be feeling unfulfilled. If it's not you yourself, if you're not the one who initiated this, right? Maybe you've been in a polyamorous relationship and now you're wanting to like dwindle it down, and you feel like you want to try being in a more, what is that called? A more exclusive relationship, then that is on the table and that's open, right? And that's an option if that's how you feel. Go with how you feel this month. Listen to your heart, okay? And really follow that. Again, there is no good or bad. It just is, and it just will be. You won't know what will come of the situation. You can't fantasize about it. You can't be hopeless romantic with it. You just have to live it and go through it and then figure it out as it comes, you know? Don't try to daydream about best and worst case scenarios. Just let it be what it's meant to be and learn from it so that you can evolve. And then the next time that another opportunity presents, you can do something differently if you need to choose something different. All right. So that's what's coming through for you guys. If this resonated, give me a thumbs up, share this with your friends and family, as well as subscribe. And if you want to book a reading with me, you can hit me up in my email, which is in the description box. I do a 10 card, or not a 10 card, I'm sorry. I do a $10 reading. That's how low it starts off, for a 3-card spread, and then it just goes up from there depending on personal needs. But that is an option for you. If I don't hear from you when you book with me though, and you don't talk to me in the comment section, then do just take care of yourself and your soul until we talk again. Ciao.